Imagine a world where the hum of bees has fallen silent, where fields of flowers bloom without the bustling activity of pollinators, and where the once vibrant tapestry of life is unraveling thread by thread. In this world, the rich diversity of species that once thrived is fading into memory, leaving behind barren landscapes and fragile ecosystems teetering on the brink of collapse. The food on our plates, once abundant and varied, has become scarce and expensive as the essential work of pollinators is no longer available to sustain our crops. The global economy stumbles, straining under the weight of declining agricultural yields and the mounting costs of attempting to replace nature's invaluable services. This is not a dystopian fantasy. It is the potential reality we face if the current trends of insect decline continue unabated. The ongoing insect apocalypse, marked by a staggering 45% reduction in insect populations over the past 40 years, threatens to unravel the very fabric of our ecosystems, economies, and food security. This crisis is not an isolated event, but a symptom of deeper, interconnected issues that are driving our planet toward ecological disaster. By understanding the complex relationships between these factors, we can better grasp the gravity of the situation and the urgent need for action. Insects are fundamental to the functioning of ecosystems, contributing to processes such as pollination, nutrient cycling, and serving as a primary food source for many species. The marked decline in insect populations disrupts these essential functions, leading to broader ecological imbalances. As insects decline, so too does the health of ecosystems, resulting in a cascade of negative effects on other species and ultimately a significant loss of biodiversity. This triad, insect decline, ecosystem disruption, and biodiversity loss, illustrates a vicious cycle where each element exacerbates the others. As insect populations dwindle, ecosystems lose their resilience, leading to further biodiversity loss, which in turn accelerates the decline of the remaining insect populations. This self-reinforcing cycle highlights the urgency of addressing the root causes of insect decline to protect not only insects, but also the broader web of life that depends on them. The relationship between insects and agriculture is particularly critical. Insects, especially bees, are responsible for pollinating approximately 75% of the world's crops, making them indispensable to global food production. The decline in pollinators poses a direct threat to agriculture, potentially reducing crop yields and jeopardizing food security. This, in turn, has profound economic implications. The global economic value of insect pollination is estimated at nearly $600 billion annually, and the loss of these services could lead to significant economic downturns, particularly in regions heavily dependent on agriculture. The triad of pollination, agriculture, and economic impact demonstrates the direct link between ecological health and human prosperity. The decline in insect pollination services threatens agricultural productivity, which could lead to increased food prices, reduced food availability, and economic instability. However, this triad also suggests a potential avenue for intervention. Economic pressures could drive concerted efforts to protect and restore insect populations, thereby safeguarding pollination services and agricultural productivity. Climate change and habitat loss are two of the most significant drivers of insect decline. Rising temperatures, changing precipitation patterns, and the increasing frequency of extreme weather events directly impact insect populations, altering their life cycles, distribution, and survival rates. Simultaneously, the destruction of natural habitats through urbanization, deforestation, and agricultural expansion further exacerbates these pressures. This triad, climate change, habitat loss, and insect decline, highlights the complex interplay between global environmental changes and local habitat destruction in driving the insect apocalypse. As climate change and habitat loss intensify, insect populations face increasing threats, leading to further declines. Moreover, the loss of insects can feed back into these processes, as disrupted ecosystems may lose their ability to sequester carbon or maintain water cycles, thereby accelerating climate change and further degrading habitats. Addressing this triad requires integrated approaches that tackle both climate change and habitat preservation, recognizing their mutual influence on insect survival. In response to the insect decline, conservation efforts are crucial. These include initiatives to protect and restore natural habitats, reduce pesticide use, and promote sustainable agricultural practices. However, for these efforts to be effective, they must be supported by a well-informed public and robust policy frameworks. Public awareness of the importance of insects and the threats they face can drive behavioral changes and increase support for conservation initiatives. Meanwhile, policy implementation at the governmental and international levels can institutionalize these efforts, providing the necessary resources and regulatory frameworks to protect insect populations. The triad of conservation efforts, public awareness, and policy implementation underscores the importance of a coordinated approach to addressing the insect apocalypse. Effective conservation efforts, supported by public awareness and strong policies, can create a positive feedback loop that enhances the protection of insect populations and mitigates the causes of their decline. The stark reality of continuing on our current path is not just an ecological catastrophe, but a human one as well. Imagine a future where we have failed to act, where the ecosystems that once sustained life have crumbled, leading to widespread food shortages, economic instability, and a world where the natural beauty and richness of biodiversity are but distant memories. This is the future we risk if we do not confront the insect apocalypse head-on. The interconnected triads discussed in this essay paint a vivid picture of how deeply intertwined our fate is with the health of insect populations. As insects decline, ecosystems falter, agriculture suffers, and economies destabilize, all while the driving forces of climate change and habitat loss accelerate. Yet within these triads lies a glimmer of hope. By recognizing these connections, we can craft a response that addresses the root causes of insect decline. Through concerted conservation efforts, increased public awareness, and robust policy implementation, we stand at a crossroads. The decisions we make today will determine whether we leave behind a world impoverished of its natural wonders, or one where the hum of insects continues to be the soundtrack of a thriving, resilient planet. The insect apocalypse is not inevitable, but halting it requires immediate, bold action. The time to act is now, before it's too late.